Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 26th of November 2019. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you for joining me. I'm using the Silver Witchcraft Tarot. And today is also a new moon in Sagittarius in terms of astrology. So I've made a separate video on the new moon. Have a look at that if you want more information. But let's just have a look at what the cards have to say about Tuesday, because the cards are going to give their own take on the day's energy. So these readings, all I do is I ask the cards, what is Tuesday, the 26th of November, going to be like? I shuffle them, knock on them. And then the cards answer, and the answer is for everyone watching, and it's for all signs of the zodiac. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I looked at my stats the other day. 44% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. Terrible. So please just hit that little button and subscribe. I would be ever so grateful. We have the Five of Swords. Wow, the Knight of Wands. Isn't that beautiful? Oh. And we have the Seven of Swords. Okay, let me see if I can make sense of this, because the cards are very different than the original Rider-Waite deck. Okay, the Five of Swords is usually some sort of conflict. It's quite serious. It's serious conflict. It's usually really intense arguments, difference of opinion. In this case, they've buried the hatchet, so to speak. They've put the sword in the sand, and they've drawn a line under it. And they're happy because they're no longer influenced by it. They realize that they don't have to fight each other, that they should unify. They're both wearing yellow. And when they come together, instead of being apart, that's when their lives really thrive and they start to enjoy themselves. So that sword being buried is the sense of division between you and other people, us versus them. And what intuitively what I'm getting about that is, what that means for you today is that, yes, you can make peace with someone who you've not seen eye to eye with. You can draw a line under it and move on if you want to, and it will have a positive effect. Or if you notice yourself doing that today, and tomorrow you question whether that's truthful and whether it's going to last, with this energy today, if you patch things up, it will last. Now, the Knight of Wands is a court card, and he represents extreme behavior. He has this salamander on his cloak, and he can actually summon fireballs in his hand. So the knight is working his way to becoming the king, or the pharaoh, as he's in Egypt. The knight doesn't really know how to handle the fiery energy. Either he goes over the top and creates a fireball and throws it at someone and kills them over some silly little argument over the electric bill, or he is totally apathetic and has no interest in doing anything and is just frustrated and angry and controlling. He can go either way. What's interesting is that you've buried the hatchet. In your own self, you're not quite so sure of yourself. Maybe that's why you bury the hatchet, because when you're not so certain of your own position, we usually soften, don't we? If we're not so certain about the evidence that we have against someone, if we feel betrayed, if we suddenly get mitigating circumstances, then we question ourselves and we doubt it. And then you feel, am I being too soft and just letting this person take advantage of me by calling a truce? Or can I trust that this truce will hold, that the past is behind us and we're going to make things work? And the answer is yes, you can trust that. So you don't need to worry about other people today. You need to worry about, well, you don't need to worry about yourself. First of all, you don't need to do anything. These cards and these readings are only designed to help you. If it affects you negatively, ignore it. I'm just noticing now while I was sidebarring there, all the yellow. So it's going to be a happy day. It's going to be a fiery day full of passion. That's also fire. That's the plus side. It's love and sex and romance and passion and desire and glamour and being in the spotlight and being confident. Finally, the Seven of Swords. We've got a young woman. She is just holding on to that tree because the wind is blowing like crazy. The little chihuahua is going running. The little turtle is also heading off. And she's looking at this direction going like, what's happening? What's going on? So the Seven of Swords usually is someone taking something for themselves, and it has to do with stealing and being selfish and just taking what you want and not giving other people what they deserve. But in this case, we have got a woman who is affected by someone's bad behavior. Imagine the wind, the hurricane, as a symbol of someone having stolen from her. And it creates this huge storm in her life. Let's say, okay, let me give you an example. Let's say she has a girlfriend and she introduces that girlfriend to a group of her friends. The girlfriend that's been introduced then immediately hits it off like a house on fire with some of the girls in the new group, and she conspires with them to have you, the person who initially introduced her to that group, they conspire to push you out because they've turned against you. That's the kind of energy this is. Here, someone has caused a huge upheaval, a huge storm through anger, and other people are going to have to react to it. What I like about this deck is that they've given us the solution to the swords. So, because the sword is always buried, so rather than looking at what the sword is doing, it's telling us how we can work against it. So in this case, trust the peace and the things people say to you. Don't be suspicious, paranoid. There's no need for it. Focus on your passions, your desires, what it is you want. You're full of fire. He's dressed in red. And that is energy. That's power. That's drive. And he's a little bit off. He's a little bit off center. He's a little bit skew. That is what the Knight of Wands is. And the Seven of Swords means that if you cause a huge storm today by using your fiery energy, by being angry, by throwing a hissy fit, by accusing someone of something that they've done to you, even if it's warranted, even if you have a justified resentment or a justified betrayal that you're reacting to, on this day, if you bring that up, if you try and challenge it, you're going to have a huge wind that comes your way and you're going to have to deal with the fallout. And that is totally contradictory to this card, where two people are coming together, they're leaving the arguments behind and they're drawing a line under it. So The luck of the day is that all the yellow is very... The luck of the day is that it's very unlikely for you to go into anger mode and to attack others and to blame them and to be, aggressive and angry. I feel that instead you're going to go inwards. You're going to go on your own personal journey with your camel there. And you won't have to protect yourself from any falling outs with other people if you just keep to yourself and don't take other people so seriously and what they do. Don't take it so seriously. Carrie Fisher used to talk about this. She differentiated between a problem and an inconvenience. And she said that this is her speaking, after I went into the psychiatric hospital, I realized that was a problem. My daughter not doing her homework, that's an inconvenience. And today, especially, bear that in mind. Don't take other people so seriously. If there is something that other people have done or have said that irritates you and you feel justified in really hitting back today, it's pointless. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not going to help you. So keep perspective and realize that these are just inconveniences, and what you can achieve today is everything that fire symbolizes. So desire, life purpose, passion, finding yourself, traveling the world, accessing the higher realms, connecting with your inner self, your inner child, your higher self, your higher power. It's about creating a masterpiece. Fire is a masculine energy. It can build and it can transform things. Fire can burn and leave things in ashes. So it's incredibly transformative, and you can make a lot of progress on yourself to elevate yourself to become the king or queen of wands, who is then happy and living his or her life purpose. So don't fall in the trap today of getting angry or hooked into other people's behavior. Draw a line under that, ignore it, and instead focus on you. You do you. Because the other people, if they're stealing from you, if they're spreading rumors about you, if they're doing things which you find completely unacceptable, and you have to absolutely stand up for yourself. It's easy to say it when, you're sitting there and it's not happening to you. But when it's actually happening, it takes on a whole different vibe because it's happening to you. And it's irresistible to stand up for yourself. In this case, those people are going to show themselves up sooner or later anyway. So you don't have to weld yourself together with someone by getting angry and saying, how dare you? That only kind of binds you together. If you focus on your talents and your gifts and your purpose and your vocational aptitudes today, and you're not so interested in the opinions of your colleagues, your contemporaries, then you're going to have an amazing, fun day, and you will master something that you can then use in future. You don't have to continue to be so reactive in your life. That's what we can learn today. If someone really pees us off, we don't have to say, how dare you, and get angry. We can blink and walk away. We can also not react at all. You can just stare. We've all been socially trained to behave a certain way. Today is an insight into the way you want to be behaving and picking your battles. And you really see that a lot of this stuff ought to be buried because it's trivial and silly and stupid, and it's not worth your time and effort. And you grow by seeing that and being able to put a boundary in place to say, no, thank you, we're not buying this to you today. Okay, thank you very much. Number-wise, 5, and the court card is 6. 6 and 7 is 13. And that's 4. So 4 is stability, structure, and security. It's like Saturn in the astrology. And Saturn represents a platform that you can build your house on, a foundation. It's security and structure. That's currently in Capricorn, and it sits next to Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, which is also in Capricorn. So Pluto is fire. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. So by focusing on the changes that you can make to your life journey, what it is you really want to do, what it is you're really interested in, that's when you're able to create a really solid platform on which you can build the pyramids. Things that last a long time, and you can really find something in yourself that you create that takes on a life of its own. The ego tricks us by wanting to get involved with trivial drama. Avoid that by going within and going on an amazing inner journey that leaves you with treasure and information and all the things that you are asking for, and answers, and a sense of motivation and fuel and power. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading, please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab. I keep saying that because it's the old website had a reading tab. We've changed the website and it has a shop tab. And when you click on that, you can order your reading there. Please excuse me. Or you can click on the book your reading button on the front page and you'll see all the different readings that I do. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology. To draw up your astrology chart, I need your date of birth, your place of birth, and your time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then I can work that out for you in a process called chart rectification. So please order that on the shop as well. I can work out your time of birth, and then I can draw up your chart. And together, all these divinations tools kind of open up my intuition, and I can answer any questions you may have about your life purpose, past lives, travel, where the best place is to be, when the storm is going to be over, when you really come into your element work-wise. Is there love in future? Should you do something on top of your existing job, or is it enough? Only you can answer those things. And if you're not certain about them by looking within, then get in touch with me and we can look at your chart and your cards to see what direction you're meant to be going in. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you like this video, please hit subscribe and share the video online. That would be awesome of you. Have a great Tuesday, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.